FEMA is running out of money, guys. That's right. FEMA came out and said they have enough money for the short term, but they don't have enough money for the long term. What? What does that mean? You're telling me in the middle of hurricane season, you don't have enough money? You're running out of money after Hurricane Helene hit, and now Hurricane Milton is about to hit Florida. It's not looking good, guys. My name is Orlando. Welcome to the channel. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. Also, make sure you check out my newsletter. It's free. You can't beat that. It will give you tremendous value. That information is in the description. And as always, if you need any type of investment or commercial financing, I am your guy. I've been a lender for almost 20 years. I can assist you with that. That information is in the description and in a pinned comment. Listen, guys, this is just crazy because it's not like the Fed didn't understand or the government did not understand exactly how much money they had, exactly what was going to happen in Florida, what's exactly going to happen during hurricane season. It's called hurricane season for a reason. How does this make sense? It's just mind-boggling. But they're saying they won't have enough money for the long term.
I beg your pardon? I beg your pardon?
Now, that may sound confusing because you're thinking to yourself, what does that mean? Does it mean that you won't have enough money for me in my situation as a hurricane has went through and destroyed towns, cities, all this other stuff, water damage, wind damage? There's just tons and tons of damage. Before we go ahead and jump into this, the big thing is that a lot of people have not even put in a claim yet. They're still in cleanup mode. You haven't even received a portion. 20% of the claims have not even come through on FEMA, and they're telling you they're running out of money.
So we don't have the capacity.
When Milton hits, which it's forecast it will hit, and it will be a category 3 or 4. Hopefully it's just a tropical storm. Matter of fact, we hope that it just rain, right? There's no damage. But let's live in reality. The way that it's projecting, there will be some damage. So you're telling me on top of that, I haven't even put in a claim and you're running out of money, but now you're telling me when Milton hits, you will have no money? Where is all the money gone?
The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely not.
It says U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas has warned that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, does not have enough funding to make it through the rest of the hurricane season, which started more quietly than forecasted, but has roared into catastrophic with Hurricane Helene, and the typical runs until the end of November. That still doesn't explain where all the money is going.
Where my money?
Man, I gave Aaron your money.
It seems like we go through this every time. Money just goes into FEMA and disappears. And then we go to Congress, we get it upped, and then that money disappears. Where is all the money going? Where is all the money going? That's all I'm asking. Where is all of the money just evaporated to? And then now, when it's needed in hurricane season, it's nowhere to be found. I know a lot of you guys are Orlando. What? This is crazy. This can't be true. Let's go ahead and go over some of this news coverage.
Yeah, it's certainly not the news you want to hear, especially if you're living in the Southeast right now in one of those hard-hit states. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, better known as FEMA, this is the good news. They say they have enough money in the short term, but not enough for the rest of hurricane season. That's the message from Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas this week. FEMA is still tallying up the total damage from Helene as they're delivering food, water, and other supplies to those hardest hit states in the Southeast. Now, more than 150,000 households have already applied for disaster relief, but that's likely on the low end. That number is probably going to go up soon.
You think? I mean, let's be real. We know that the claims are going to continue to go up. I mean, the hurricane just tore up the Southeast. Wind damage and water damage. It's just catastrophic. So we know that there will be more claims. The question is will FEMA be able to take care of those claims? And the way it's looking like, it's no. They will have to get some type of budget increase from Congress. I mean, if you printed all this money for all other types of stuff, I mean, why wouldn't you print money for for catastrophic damage, flooding from hurricanes. But see, that's the problem, guys. You've been on this channel multiple times, and you guys have understood that from the very beginning, I have been saying, guys, listen, there's a problem with insurance in Florida. There's a problem with pricing, insurance, property taxes, but I've been really honing in on the insurance problem. Now, imagine if you were to buy a condo, or you were to buy a single family home in Florida, and you were dealing with this insurance issue. Now, I did forewarn that the insurance issue is going to be a big issue in Florida, Texas, all over the country, but most definitely in Florida. And I've stated this over and over and over again, especially when it comes to hurricanes and Mother Nature, doing what Mother Nature does and literally causing all types of havoc and all types of damage in the places like Florida. And everybody used to be like, well, Orlando, it'll be all right. Like, really? It'll be all right? What do you mean it'll be all right?
What?
Imagine buying a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 home or condo, dealing with insurance issues previously before, with it being sky high. What do you think the insurance is going to be right now? You already were paying $15,000 a year in insurance. What do you think the insurance is going to be after Helene hit, after Milton is going to hit? Can you even file a claim, even with your insurance company? Because what I've been getting, the news that I've been hearing from individuals is, it doesn't matter if it's FEMA. It doesn't matter if it's Citizens. It doesn't matter if it's Allstate, Progressive, any of the insurance companies. Everybody is having a hard time filing a claim. They're getting the old, is it wind damage or is it water damage? Do you have flood insurance? Do you have wind insurance? If you don't have flood insurance, then definitely it was the water who did it. It was the water damage. It wasn't wind damage. It was water damage. But if you have flood coverage, but then you don't have wind coverage, it was that wind. That wind, it just did a lot of damage. This is what insurance companies do.
I think we might have a hustler here.
Not only do you sit here and wait and wait and wait forever, then when you finally get an answer from the insurance company, what are they doing? Nickel and diming you? After you've paid premium after premium after premium after premium?
I used to look up to you, man. How could you do this?
And this is a thing that I've warned over and over and over again, especially in the state of Florida. And the reason is because a lot of people believe that just because they're not paying state tax, that it isn't costly to live in Florida, that there isn't an insurance problem. Now that we're in this predicament where you're going to get hit with two hurricanes, back to back. Back to back.
This moves 20 miles to the west, and you and everyone you know are dead.
Imagine if you were paying high insurance and your insurance company isn't paying for anything. That means FEMA, Allstate, State Farm, it doesn't matter. Imagine you putting in the claim and they're not paying it. Imagine paying $20,000 a year and nothing happening from all of the premiums that you've paid. Because these companies aren't loyal. I've said it over and over and over and over again. But then you have the other end. What's the other end, Orlando? Well, the other end is individuals who decided,
I'm not going to do any insurance. I'm not going to claim anything.
And I've done videos on that, guys. And we know that that does not end well either, because now you have individuals who have to pay to get the property fixed. And do they have $300,000?
I'm broke.
Do they have $400,000, $1 million to pay for the damage? Now, what do you think is going to happen to individuals that are in condos that are getting hit with HOA fees and this new law where you have to pay for all of the fixes? What do you think is going to happen to those individuals? At this point, it looks like, from what I'm hearing, a lot of individuals are deciding to walk away.
Done.
They're walking away from a home that is $300,000 to $400,000, or was worth $300,000 to $400,000. They have to come up with $200,000 to get to the HOA for this new law, and then they also have to deal with water damage and wind damage. But the question is shouldn't the HOA insurance take care of that? Shouldn't the HOA take care of all of the damage? Oh, that's right. a lot of the HOA funds are insolvent. So you see what I'm saying? It just seems like you can't win. But let's continue on because I can talk about this forever. Let's hear what everyone is saying about insurance. It doesn't matter if you have flood insurance that gets coverage through FEMA. It doesn't matter if you getting coverage through Progressive. This is an issue all the way around.
Communities in the South are still picking up the pieces from Helene, and a lot of people might find their insurance won't be much help. This video is from Asheville, North Carolina, just one of many communities dealing with major flooding and heavy damage from the storm. And here's a staggering statistic. FEMA says 99% of counties in the United States have experienced flooding since 1996, but only 4% of people have flood insurance.
Let's have a conversation about this really quickly, guys. I think this is very important for you guys to understand this. A lot of times people believe that flood insurance comes with their insurance. They believe it as a package, right? Anything that can happen to my house, I am paying insurance premiums for all of that. Well, that's not the case, guys.
Wait, what?
For flood insurance is separate from when you normally go get your home insurance, and you have to pay extra for it. So for example, just because you go out and you get home insurance does not mean that you have flood insurance. Well, Orlando, why is this? Well, this is because there's maps that show flooding. And if you're not in a flood zone, normally your lender or whoever holds your mortgage, they won't require you to have flood insurance. Does that mean you shouldn't get flood insurance just because you're not in a flood zone? That's your choice. Everybody has a different view on that. Some people believe I'm not in a flood zone, so I don't need flood insurance. And then you have areas like Florida. That's right. Areas like Florida, where a lot of the times flood insurance is so expensive because of the area that a lot of people don't have them. A lot of people don't have it as coverage. Your mortgage lender or bank may require it, but based on the numbers, a lot of people in Florida do not have flood coverage. Now, let me just go straight to FEMA's website to this. And it says here, currently 1.1 million policyholders in Florida hold $321 billion in coverage, but many Floridans have no flood coverage. Did you guys read that? Many people in Florida do not have flood coverage.
Sensational.
In an area that is almost, because I know someone's gonna say it's not guaranteed, Orlando. But let's live in reality. The chance of you getting hit with a hurricane, some type of disaster in Florida, flood, wind, it's high. It's high. It's almost guaranteed that something like that will happen, at least in a span of 3 to 5 years. That's just my opinion, right? I know someone's gonna come out and say, Orlando, blah, blah, blah. But I'm telling you, that is my opinion. If you know you're gonna get hit with a hurricane in 3 to 5 years, I think flood insurance is a must. Is a must, especially if you don't have $3, $4, $5, $1 million just sitting around to fix and rebuild your home.
You know, if I have homeowners insurance, is flooding just not included?
I don't think you're alone. Where I spoke to someone for the story who used to work in insurance and was hit hard by Helene. And for her, it was a surprise when she found out she would not be covered because she doesn't have flood insurance. And so I think this is something that a lot of Americans just aren't aware of.
So what is happening right now to people in Helene, especially areas that probably don't think they need flood insurance?
See, now this is a tough one again, because I know what some of you guys are going to say. Orlando, it's already expensive to have regular insurance. How am I going to have flood insurance and then have regular insurance? By the time that I'm paying all of this money, I'm paying $20,000 plus a year in insurance just for the just in case scenario. Just for the just in case scenario. And I would say that's the cost of living in Florida. And I know, a lot of you guys are going to say, Orlando, come on, man. Come on. Is that really the cost? Yes, it is. Because we know what happens in Florida. I mean, we know that hurricanes come there all the time. We know that it's a hot spot for hurricanes.
I know that ain't who I think it is. Little big brother.
This is the reason why the FEMA issue is such an important thing. Because how are you going to let your fund run out of money and basically anybody's put in claims? And then you got another hurricane coming that seems to be like it's going to hit a bigger portion of Florida. That's the reason why this is so important. Because we know, I just told you that most people don't have flood coverage. So what is going to happen is FEMA is going to have to pick up that tab. There's going to probably be a limit, but the point is they're going to have to come pick up that tab. They're going to pick up the slack for individuals who have no coverage, but they have no money. And the question are they going to be able to refill the coffers, so to speak, right? Will they be able to do that? And my answer is yes, but will they be able to do it in time? Is there going to be some emergency meeting that's going to throw billions and billions and billions of dollars into the budget so that everybody can get paid out and people can be taken care of, food and shelter and all this other stuff that is definitely needed for that area? Is all of that stuff going to be ready? The answer to that is probably no. Everything's going to take longer. We already know things with the government take ages. Imagine if you have a agency that is supposed to help you out in these scenarios. Now they have no more money because they've spent money elsewhere, wherever that money may be. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, so what we're seeing with Helene specifically is a lot of this damage is really due to that storm surge, that flooding. And so with other disasters, I think these homeowners were able to claim things like wind damage. And so that kind of fell under their home insurance policy, and they were able to have their claims worked out. This time, a lot of that flooding, like I said, is really due to specifically flooding. And so for those homeowners who are submitting claims, they're finding out, okay, if they don't have that flood insurance specifically, their claims are not covered.
What an absolute nightmare. What are those people going to do?
That's a great question. What are those people going to do? I'm sorry to say this, but it's not going to be good. People are going to file bankruptcy. People are going to let properties go. Again, I've told you guys that I'm getting emails and DMs from individuals who are asking me, Orlando, what do I do? I bought a home in Florida. I already have to come up with all of these HOA fees and this new law. I got to come up with $200,000. What am I going to do where I got to come up with $200,000 to keep my property? And I just got hit with a hurricane.
This is the worst.
And it has $100,000, $200,000 worth of damage that I have to get fixed, that I have to go through my insurance company to work out. And I'll be honest, those individuals that are in scenarios like this, it's going to be a financial uphill battle. I'm not even talking about the mental aspect of it. We're just talking about the financial burden. The financial burden is going to be an uphill battle. And a lot of these individuals are deciding that they're just gonna,
You know what? You can have it. You want the condo so bad, you want to charge me $200,000, and then I have to get the property fixed, and I'm probably gonna be on the hook because you guys are gonna be arguing about water damage versus wind damage. You know what? Here you go. There's the keys.
That's what I'm seeing. And individuals are telling me, I'm just gonna move out of the state. It's too expensive here. I can't afford to live here anymore. Even after the hurricanes hit, how am I gonna be able to make this work? I cleared out my 401k. I have no more money left. I gotta go back to work because of these disasters.
Man, I'm dead.
Yeah, so it's tough. There are a few tips that experts gave me where, they can really dive in and see if there are any avenue with their policy to see if they have any coverage. But other than that, it's kind of working on getting your home dried quickly, making sure you're not falling for scammers who are kind of.
You guys see how it's hard for the lady to really give any advice on what you should do if you don't have any coverage? Because what she doesn't want to say is, you're screwed. There's really nothing you can do unless you have a bucket of money or, that's just at the bank or just right there. If you got money just laying around, you're good. That's what she wants to say, but she can't. She's on the news. And she's trying to be politically correct by telling you guys, well, here's some tips and tricks, just dry out your basement. If you don't have any coverage, she has nothing really to say. She looks confused. But the reason why that is because what she really wants to say is what I said earlier. There's nothing really you can do. I mean, you could possibly, again, speak to different types of organizations that can help you out. Let it be FEMA, but they're running out of money. Let it be a private organization, grassroots organizations in your city, in your town, that can maybe help you out. But here's the thing. It's not just you looking for money. It's everyone else. And this is, again, guys, the reason why on this channel I say these companies aren't loyal, make sure that you take care of you and yourself first, you and your family first, and to make the best decisions that you possibly can. We've talked about Florida over and over and over. I've said the insurance is an issue, property taxes is an issue, and I've also stated that when these hurricanes and these acts of God happen, these insurance companies will go back and forth trying to figure out ways to not pay you.
Excellent.
I've said it over and over again. I've shown you videos. I've shown you situations where the insurance issue is just going up, up, and up. And it's just now at a fever pitch. It's really getting to the point to where people are just saying,
why am I even in this state?
And this is a big thing. I hope everyone is safe when it comes to Hurricane Milton and that you do not stay in that area, that you evacuate. Forget the properties, forget the real estate. What's more important? We all know what's more important. You and your family.
Fact.
Get out of there and then go back and look at whatever the result is. Hopefully nothing happens. The point of this video is for you guys to read in between the lines. With this FEMA stuff, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Let's just take a look at what's happening with Milton, and then you guys can make the judgment for yourself. And you let me know how you think this is gonna end up.
Brand new urgent information just in from the National Hurricane Center. Hurricane Milton has exploded in strength. It is now a major hurricane already, a Category 3 storm. It's got the entire Gulf of Mexico to gain in intensity. It is forecast to take an incredibly dangerous path. You can see it right there. Tampa, St. Pete, Clearwater, Fort Myers, Naples, all within its cone. Seconds ago, the National Hurricane Center issued a special forecast advisory. This is something it rarely does. That in and of itself gives you a sense of how urgent this is.
I just want to take a look at this, guys. Take a look at this map. Now, we have the map that's behind the guy right here. And you can see right here in the yellow and the pink and then the yellow. We see that the surge is going to hit that entire area. It looks like that entire area is going to get flooded. Imagine this amount of people, this whole pink area, all flooding, just flood, more water, more water, more water. That area is going to get hit with tons of water damage. Then we go to the ones, the yellow area. We see Miami right there. Miami is already flooding. Let's be real. Everybody knows Miami is sinking. The water is coming in to the city all the time. You go to Miami, you will see flooding just time and time over and over again. It's not a secret. Everybody knows this. So imagine these cities that are already hit with flood damage, wind damage, are gonna get hit with this again. And this is just Florida. This is what I'm talking about when I say that you have to make the right decisions when it comes to the properties that you're purchasing, the houses that you're purchasing, the financial decisions you make. Because if you were to have bought in Florida and just say, you know what, who cares? I'm just gonna go ahead and buy.
Don't do it. You'll regret it, man.
You could be in this situation that is horrible. Horrible. And I really do pray for individuals in this situation. I want you guys to get out of the situation. I hope that you don't have any financial issues or anything like that, but I understand how hard it is to not have financial issues when you're in a predicament like this. At the end of the day, my point of this video is that, again, you have to do what's best for you and your family. Please get out of the area, evacuate, do whatever you have to do to make sure that you and your family are safe. The real estate, the properties, you can deal with that later. The unfortunate problem that we're seeing, guys, is that it's going to get worse before it gets better, like I always say. And this year is just stacking up. In 2025, come on. Based on the economy and where it's going, it's going to get crazy. I hope FEMA gets their stuff together and gets more funding. But this is just ridiculous. Anyway, I hope you got value out of this content, but we know you won't get all of your information from this one video. No, not just this one video. I need you to watch this video right here. Yes, this one. It will give you information on the housing market, financial news, get you into your first rental property. And guys, the information you will get from it will be gold. See you in the next one. Thanks.